people. Good mornings. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. What? What's up, Steam Deck fans? You know, Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mob, what's happening? We outside. And the Steam Deck Squad, what's up? Okay, Gamers Rant. Let me educate you on these handhelds real quick. Valve raised the bar. It was never the Nintendo Switch. Let's just get that out of the way. Valve raised the bar with the Steam Deck when they came out and said we could not find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. What does that statement mean in a nutshell? What does it really mean? It means that you can't come out here with no weak handhelds and thinking you're just going to get by. Those days are done. Valve with the Steam Deck raised the bar. Okay? They send a message to the entire gaming industry across the world. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. And remember, I was joking with them when I said, is it half a gig of RAM for the OS? 15.5 for games? Is it 1 gig of RAM for the OS? And 15 for games? Is it 2 gigs of RAM for the OS? And 14 for games? The Steam Deck raised the bar when it comes to these handhelds. So this notion now that it's ASUS, you guys, you can't be serious. You better give respect where respect is due. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handhelds. It ain't the Switch. It is not the Switch. It is the Steam Deck. Okay? Gabe Newell came out and warned you in that press conference. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. And once they said that, Sony jumped on board. Then Xbox and everybody else followed suit. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handhelds. It ain't ASUS. Okay? So your article that you're talking about, the ASUS ROG Ally proves Nintendo Switch and Steam Deck can't rest on their laurels. That statement is fake. The Steam Deck been raised the bar. It means that going forward from here on out, you cannot come out here with any weak handhelds and thinking you're just gonna get by. The bar has been risen. Okay? The Steam Deck is responsible for it. Anyway, let me see what y'all talking about. It says here, the Asus ROG Ally looks like an incredible device on paper, and it may be enough to convince Valve and Nintendo to step their game up. Hey, Gamers Rant, when it comes to this video game stuff, I do know what I'm talking about. Valve been told the entire gaming industry, step your game up with the Steam Deck. They've been said it. They came out. We couldn't find a game. Send a warning to Nintendo. Send a warning to every competitor out there. Don't come out here with any weak console and thinking you're going to get by. Okay? That's what that statement really means. So this notion that the Asus ROG is telling Valve to step their game up, what you should have really said is that the Steam Deck told the entire gaming industry to step their game up. What are you talking about, man? Come on, man. Anyway, look, it says here, although initially thought to be an elaborate April Fool's Day joke, ASUS wasn't lying when it announced the Asus ROG Ally portable gaming handheld late last week. The full specs of Asus competitor Steam Deck is still undisclosed, but based on what's been said so far, this handheld might be giving Valve a run for its money. The Nintendo Switch may want to take some notes too. It says, based on the solely on its full HD 1080p with a light, fast 120 Hz refresh rate, the Asus ROG Ally is ready to stand out options in handheld gaming. Asus has stated that the handheld will also feature a more powerful custom AMD APU. Look, man, if you can't beat the Steam Deck, join it. Valve been using AMD already. So the ROG Ally is just a copycat, basically. Anyway, it says here, whoops, let me get it going here. Let me get it going here. I hate these little pop-ups, but anyway, keep going here. It says here, AMD APU with the Steam Deck and will significantly quietly machined than Valve's handheld device. Eventually, the market for mobile gaming platform is starting to explode, offering more powerful, better visuals and more features all time, leaving its pioneers in a tough spot where their main selling point are becoming less attractive day by the day. As more products like the ROG Ally comes to the market, the Steam Deck and Nintendo Switch have their work cut out for them. Hey, gamers rant. Let me tell you something. Valve came out with the Steam Deck, right? But they did mention something about a Steam Deck 2, didn't they? So the Steam Deck is responsible for today's handhelds. It is not Asus. It is not Nintendo. It is not the One X. It's not the Neo. It's not the GPD. It is the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handheld. When Gabe Newell came out and warned everybody, we could not find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. And a lot of people took shots at the Steam Deck. And now they're regretting it. Because once the Steam Deck came out, then what? You had Neo, you had the GPD, you had the One X, you even had Logitech. The bar has been risen, and the Steam Deck is responsible for it. It is not the Asus ROG. So you guys need to get your statement correct. Get your statement corrected on that. But anyway, says here, where am I at? Let me keep going here. Says here, whoops. Says here, when Nintendo revealed the Nintendo Switch in 2017, it was like a dream come true for handheld gaming fans. That statement is false. Gamers rant, you don't know video games. Don't get me started. Remember the console called the Wii U? Remember that console? Remember that console? Remember when you YouTubers and all you magazine articles, you magazine editors, you didn't do your research on the Wii U console? Do you people even realize what you had in front of you? None of you knew until I explained it. None of you know. When I told you that you had a handheld and console in one, and you can build a Wii U tablet as powerful as you want it, and the console as powerful as you want it, remember that statement? See, a lot of people on YouTube, they got in front of the camera talking about they know video games. And they took shots at the Wii U. What did they tell you? It was sales, marketing, commercial failure. Then they pull up a sales chart. The Wii sold more than the Wii U. Right? The 3DS is better than the Wii U. And they didn't even know that the Wii U was a handheld and console in one. You even had what's his name? Spawnwave, who took the Wii. Remember that video that he did where he has the Wii U and then he has Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess? In that video, he took the Wii U apart. And what did he tell the public? The Wii U didn't stand a chance. That was the biggest mistake he ever made in video games when he made that statement. Because he didn't even know what I knew. He didn't even know that the Wii U was a handheld and console in one. What you mean the Switch was a dream come true? That statement is false. The Wii U was the real deal. Remember when I was telling people that the Switch should have never been built? Remember that statement? What part of the Wii U had the Nintendo fan base needs met? Completely met. You didn't understand. When I was telling people the Switch should have never been built, the Wii U was the real deal. You had a handheld and console in one. You had every angle, every direction, and every base of video game covered. Remember that? And I told you can build a Wii U handheld as powerful as you want it, and build a console as powerful as you want it. The biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales, like a lot of these YouTubers want to put it. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. Nintendo Corporation needed to get rid of it. And they refused to do it. So they put that lie out there telling people, oh, it was sales, marketing, commercial failure. That statement is a lie. The Wii U was the real deal. The answer to their problem was right in front of their face. The Switch is not responsible for anything. Nintendo should have stayed with the Wii U and keep on using it, but they're stubborn. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handhelds. It is not ASUS. But anyway, let me keep going here. It says here, when Nintendo revealed the Switch in 2017, it's like a dream come true for handheld gaming fans, an authentic console experience in a portable form. What? Do you people even know what you're talking about? Do you realize that the Wii U was a handheld and console in one? Anyway, says here, says blockbuster games like Zelda Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is best played on the Wii U. When it comes to this video game stuff, you YouTubers you people on YouTube that be talking, you got a problem to deal with, and you're looking at them. What are you talking about? The Switch? They should have never built the Switch. The Wii U was the answer. The problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. They need to cut that off from existence, and they refuse to do it. Don't get me started. But anyway, it says here, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey ran admirably and looked great on the Switch 7-inch screen. For a while, the Switch was in a good spot, as a third-party developer saw potential of the hybrid console and began porting their AAA games to the Switch. Weaker but still manageable hardware. Miracle ports like Witcher 3, Doom Eternal, Metro Last Light all run surprisingly well, giving the Switch power limitation. However, the Switch third-party Renaissance plateau as the first-party game continues to thrive. Look, man. Gamers Rant, GameSpot, IGN, and to all you YouTubers that do that talk about video games, man. Please do your thorough research on this. Okay? The Switch is not responsible for anything. The Switch is not responsible for anything. And if anybody on YouTube want to debate me on it, bring it. Bring it. I welcome that conversation any day. The Switch is not responsible for anything. Nintendo should have never built the Switch, because the answer to their problem was right in front of their face. The biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales, man. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. See, a lot of you don't understand is this. The Wii U was using CD. The 3DS was using cartridge. It was a CD versus cartridge issue. The other thing is this. A lot of you didn't even know this. And you call yourself gamers. You didn't know this. You didn't even realize that you had a handheld and console in one. And the 3DS is just a handheld. You didn't even know that the Wii U was a complete system. The 3DS is just a handheld. You didn't even know that you can build the Wii U tablet. The Wii U tablet is a handheld. It's a Game Boy. You can build it as powerful as you want it. And you can build a console as powerful as you want it. You guys didn't even know that you had the best of both worlds with the Wii U. You didn't know because you didn't do research. Please do your research on this. But anyway, let me keep going here. It says here, more and more it seems like third-party developers are electing to publish their games on the Switch clouded infrastructure simply because Nintendo's 6-year-old machine no longer keeps up with Hitman and Capcom Resident Evil games. Exactly. Power and specs matters in video games. That means you should have never ever built the Switch like I've been telling people. But anyway, it says here, games favor cloud over native rendering. Nintendo first-party games like Fire Emblem and Engage in Kirby and Forgotten Land are still making the most hybrid console, but it still simply isn't enough when competitors like the Steam Deck and Asus ROG Ally continue to raise the bar. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handhelds. The Steam Deck raised the bar in video games. You guys need to give credit where credit is due. It's not Asus. The Asus ROG is a copycat of the Steam Deck. When When it comes to this video game stuff, I love it. Don't get me started, man. But anyway, let me keep going here. It says the market Nintendo once led is starting to feel crowded and competitive. Nintendo has yet to respond with hardware that can match the competition's pace. It won't be long before first-party games start to buckle too. It says here, let me keep going here. Almost done here. It says here, the Steam Deck iterate on the Switch concept. I brought handheld gaming to PC space. Although not the first handheld gaming PC on the market, the Steam Deck claim to fame is its power relative to performance for 400. No, that ain't the Steam Deck claim to fame. The Steam Deck claim to fame was when Gabe Newell said to everybody, we could not find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. That was the Steam Deck claim to fame. What are you talking about? But anyway, says here, for $400, the Steam Deck owners can play games like Elden Ring's Hogwarts Legacy at excellent frame rates and graphics, setting beyond the Switch an accomplishment. However, taking these games on the go comes at a price of battery life. We ain't worried about that. That's water under the bridge. Anyway, lasting up the 90 minutes for intense gaming, compromising the Steam Deck's selling point. It says, while ASUS hasn't detailed a ROG Ally relative power battery size, it is clear that the Steam Deck weak point will be something that ASUS and other competitors can counter. Valve should try getting ahead of that sooner rather than later. Only a year after its launch, the Steam Deck already has competitors outperforming in its big budget games. In games like the Neo 2 and the One X player beats Valve handheld with a better frame rate and power, but falls short in price. Yeah, but that's why Valve announced the Steam Deck 2. Valve ain't got nothing to worry about. Everybody need to really worry about what Valve's gonna do. So anyway, it says here, if the ASUS ROG Ally can deliver great power, visual, and battery life at a great price, it's clear that Nintendo and Valve have work to do. Steam Deck fans are not worried. They know the Steam Deck 2 is coming. They're not worried. Valve send a message. When Gabe Newell made that statement, they knew that it was going to get competitive. When they said, we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, it means that everybody else was like, okay, we got something to say about that too. Neo followed suit. One X followed suit. GPD followed suit. The Oxo, that's a Kickstarter. That's in development. We already know that the Steam Deck beat the Switch right out the gate. Once Valve made that statement, we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, the Nintendo Switch was dead. It was completely dead. But anyway, and then Neo GPD 1X stepped in. It means that you couldn't come out no more with no weak handhelds and thinking that you can you can compete. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handheld. When Gabe Newell made that statement, look at the Steam Deck now. And look what the competitors are doing. They're all following in the Steam Deck shadow. Don't get me started on this gaming stuff, man. I love it. But anyway, it says here, where am I at? Where am I at here? It says, while ASUS hasn't detailed the ROG Ally relative power battery size, it's clear that the Steam Deck weak point will be something that ASUS and other competitors can counter. Valve should try getting ahead of this, get ahead of that sooner rather than later. Only a few years after its launch, the Steam Deck already has competitors outperforming in its big budget games. In the gaming bench, the Neo 2 and the One X player beats Valve handheld with better frame rate and more power, but falls short in price. If ASUS ROG Ally can deliver great power, visual, battery life at a great price, it's clear that Nintendo and Valve have work to do. Alright, look, man, look, all these handhelds are walking in the Steam Deck shadow, man. Okay, Gabe Newell tried to warn you boys in that little press conference that they did in the middle of the pandemic. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, man. What a message. And then the bar was risen. The Steam Deck raised the bar in handhelds. Okay? Because the Steam Deck was running both Windows and Linux. Let's not forget that. What a statement. And once they made that statement, the bar has been risen. Everybody had to step their game up. The Nintendo Switch was dead. Remember I made a joke about the Steam Deck was using 16 gigs of RAM and you're only using 4? The Nintendo Switch was dead. The Steam Deck is responsible. The Steam Deck raised the bar in handhelds. The Steam Deck is responsible for today's handhelds, okay? And every handheld that's coming out right now is walking in the Steam Deck shadow, okay? That's what's up. So Valve is responsible for it. And anybody want to take me up on this conversation, bring it. This video game stuff, I love it. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars, Star Trek thing. Bored, dark side. I'm gone. Peace.